during today's D23 presentation, not only did we get the title for Avatar 3, but we also got 4 concept images giving us somewhat of a glimpse into the movie. Avatar Theory here, hope you're doing well and having a fantastic day, and in this video I want to focus on one of those concept images, and it is certainly an interesting one where we see the leader of the new Ash clan, Varang, played by Una Chaplin, riding on some sort of beast which seems to be a mix between an Ikran and a storm glider from Frontiers of Pandora. Now I do want to give a shout out to Andrew Salazar from Discussing Film, JoeBlow.com, as well as Primetime Films on Twitter, because I used a combination of the images and video footage that they took, tried to straighten it a little bit in Photoshop, enhance it and sharpen it somewhat to go from this to this. And here we can clearly see a little bit more, not only on the center image but the sides, which gives us more details to look at. Now firstly, I just want to point out on the left hand side you can see a black thing right there on the image. That is not a mistake, that is actually just a camera, because if you watch the presentation you can see that there is a camera on a wire going around the stage, so that is not part of the concept image. Now of course the main thing I want to focus on first is the centerpiece, and it is that of Varang, like I said, played by Una Chaplin, riding on a new creature which is still unknown to us, but looking at the design of this creature, like I said, it does have elements of an Ikran, but also looking at the face, the jaw, especially the spikes and the massive horn on the front, or the spike or whatever they're gonna call it, it does remind me of a storm glider from Frontiers of Pandora. Those of you who have played the Ubisoft video game will know that storm gliders are quite difficult to defeat, and they are very massive in the sky, but looking at their design compared to this, there is definitely some similarities. You can also see the color pattern on this creature gives an ash or volcanic feel to it, because it is said that the new Ash clan comes from a volcanic region, so I can imagine that this creature and the Na'vi has been adapting to their environment, thus having somewhat of a different skin. It also has quite a large wingspan if you look at the whole image from afar, making this certainly much bigger than an Ikran. But speaking of Ikran, you can see that all the flying creatures in the back is definitely Ikrans, because they don't have that huge spike in the front of their head, nor is their wingspan this big. In fact, if you look there at the bottom, you can definitely see from the shape of the face or the head that is an Ikran, as well as if you look on the side, you can also see that it is an Ikran with, of course, a different skin pattern similar to this massive creature in the center. But looking at the design of Varang, or Varang, I'm not entirely sure how they will pronounce it in the movie, so going forward and until they give the pronunciation, I'm just gonna say Varang. You can see that the skin type or the pattern on the Na'vi does have a hint of blue to it, but it's also covered in a gray color, being much different from what we've seen before. You can also see the headgear going from black to an orange and red combination. Kinda reminds me of the Dilophosaurus from Jurassic Park, giving that fierce and menacing look, intimidating in a way, with the theme of fire and ash. And you can see that she is wearing a bow, a red arm guard, and probably have some sort of blade on the side with her kuru connected to this creature. I definitely like the design of this new character, and I wonder what her impact in the story will be. But you can also see that this creature has a saddle, which makes it more comfortable for the rider. Last year there was also a behind the scenes look at Avatar, where I believe they accidentally showed some behind the scenes footage for the third Avatar movie, and you can clearly see there, based on this concept art, that behind the scenes footage was in fact Varang, based on the look of the headgear as well as the outfit and the grey tint on the blue skin. I still do wonder if that is Quaritch standing in front of her, but you can see some of the other Na'vi in the background is sporting the same outfit. Now looking at the leggings, it kinda reminds me of the leggings Neytiri wears while she's riding an Ikran, which makes me wonder the origins of this Ash clan, but I'll keep that discussion and theory for another video because I have a lot of thoughts on that one. Now moving on to some of the back areas or some of the background, you can see that the Na'vi riding the Ikran behind her is definitely wielding a gun of sorts. almost kind of looks like a missile launcher, the way they're holding it. And at first glance, I want to say this could probably be Lyle, but I do feel that Lyle will likely stick with the RDA. However, that is just a theory. Moving on to the left side, you can see another Na'vi on top of a Banshee with a saddle, also wielding a weapon which again looks like a rocket launcher, but if you zoom in very closely, their hands looks kind of strange the way they're holding the weapon, and their arms almost looks like a Prolemurus from the Avatar movie, but I don't think it's that creature riding an Ikran with a rocket launcher. It could possibly be this new Na'vi clan looking slightly different than regular Na'vi, or since this is concept art, it just wasn't drawn in that much detail, essentially just outlining the figure. But you can notice that this Na'vi has a red arrow painted downwards, or a red triangle, similarly to the red upside down triangle on Varang's forehead, indicating that this is probably like the symbol for this clan. You can also see behind Varang are two more Na'vi on top of Ikrans. It's the same image used behind her, but just flipped around, as both of them are also holding a weapon. So it is interesting to see that some of the Na'vi that will be on her team will be using weapons instead of bows and arrows. So I do wonder if there will be any recoms joining her team as well. Now, looking at the part on the right hand side, again you can see another Na'vi with the upside down red triangle holding a weapon in the air, riding an Ikran with some rocks in the background. In fact, one interesting note about this image is that if you look at it as a whole, and if you look at the very far back of this image, you can see some rocks, some greenery, and at the very bottom you can even see some mist in the background, as this does seem to take place during daytime. And at first I was thinking that there was water at the bottom, but that was just the reflection of the stage. But since this clan is from a volcanic region, this certainly does not look like a volcanic area, hence, like I said, the greenery and the rocks in the background. So I do wonder if this concept image is essentially going to be part of some sort of invasion or some sort of attack, where this Ash clan, this new Na'vi clan, is either attacking other Na'vi, in essence Jake and Neytiri, perhaps the Metkayina, or if they are in fact assaulting an RDA base. Regardless, there is a ton of them here, and with Varang in the front with this new type of flying creature, very intimidating, charging into battle, this will certainly be an epic scene in the movie. And for now, this is all of the details for this image that I could find based on all of the photos and videos that were taken at D23. We will likely have to wait a bit before we get some high quality, some official proper artwork on the Avatar website or released by the Avatar social media. But if there is something that you think I missed from this image specifically, let me know in the comments below, and for more Avatar content, have a look at the rest of my channel. Until next time, have a fantastic day and stay safe.